tune into First Round Fantasy, you're talking to some guys who make it to the championship.
Welcome on into the First Round Fantasy Podcast. Your first choice for second round advice. It's Sunday morning. It's time to get started. Right off the bat, we got Fam first in the chat. He says Rashad White or Deontay Johnson. I answered it in the chat. I'll answer it up here at the top as well. It's going to be Rashad White for me. I don't love the matchup for Deontay Johnson. And that Pittsburgh Steelers offense. If anybody, I look for a bounce back game from George Pickens in that one. Rashad White for me. David Tulane says, yo, what's up? What's up, David Tulane? Thanks for stopping by. Good friend. Not really, but fellow contributor to the podcast. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out. No play team like here. I don't know what that means, but okay. Thanks for coming out, guys. Couldn't do it, Mels. Without you. Welcome to First Round Fantasy, your home for second round advice. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at First Round Fantasy. You can also find us here on YouTube at First Round Fantasy or wherever you listen to your podcast, most notably Spotify or Apple Premium. Man, oh man, it is week 14. Jacob has left me here to fend with the Wolves. That's one of the reasons why I played the long intro, because he's not here and he can't tell me what to do. But it's ride or die, guys. You need to get into the playoffs. I'm here to help you out. No one comes in and asks me any questions. I'm just going to start out some start-sit decisions on my own. We do have some coming into the chat here today. So we'll get to those on the YouTube channel as well. For instance, Alejandro Solomon says, should I start Pacheco or Barkley this week? And that is a really great question. Barkley, questionable with the neck injury, says he's going to give it a go. What happens? What do you do? Does he get the 20 carry workload? He hasn't been seeing a lot of passing down work lately. Meanwhile, Isaiah Pacheco, he's been lighting the world on fire in that Kansas City offense, but they face a formidable defense in the Denver Broncos today. What do you do there? That's a very difficult decision for me. I'm sorry, but you always start your studs. I'm going with Saquon Barkley this week. That Philadelphia defense is good. However, if you could beat them, you could beat them on the ground. I think if he can get 5 to 10 carries, maybe he gets that goal line work. Maybe he gets that touchdown before he's out for the day. That's a 10-point fantasy performance. And that's worst case scenario, right? We're hoping he can play throughout the game's entirety, but we don't know that yet. Meanwhile, Isaiah Pacheco, if there's not one good thing you can't talk about on that Denver side of the ball, it's the defense, right? Russell Wilson hasn't been able to get it together, but they're able to get it together on defense. I'm kind of fading Pacheco this week. I still think he's an RB2, but with the potential of what Saquon Barkley can do, yeah, definitely going Saquon Barkley here. So because it is just me today, I got to answer that question. Always start your studs, even with the neck injury. LOL. Good luck, and thanks for listening. That's always the weird thing about answering YouTube questions. We get a lot of them, so sometimes I'm like, do I have to answer them and give my full expertise? And again, it's not expertise, or can I just give a really short answer? And it's like, I'd like to give a thorough answer because someone just sees it and they're like, oh, Barkley, okay, I'm just supposed to listen to you. You got to have an explanation, right? I'm going to say that Denver defense is tough. That's all I got. All right, cool. Well, we'll see some more of those as they come in here. Matter of fact, we do have more coming in from the YouTube channel. And I know what you're thinking. Gabe, this is the YouTube channel. What are you talking about? This person says, Young Baller 24, help me out, boys. Chark, Slayton, or Palmer this week? I got to be honest with you. Chark was Jacob's dark horse this week. I still think he's an excellent play. You look at San Diego. Mike Williams is back. Does he take workload away from Joshua Palmer, who, might I add, has had a really good stretch of games here? but things are kind of coming back to the norm. Keenan Allen's back. Mike Williams is back today. And not only is he back with the questionable tag, he was left off the injury report. So we can expect a pretty solid game from him, maybe even a solid snap share as well. For that reason, if I had to rank them, I'd probably go Chark, Palmer, then Slayton. Slayton just takes on a gruesome matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't want any part of that. So I would be going Chark there. Looks like most of these are coming from the Chark video this week. Let's see. We got Chark or Brandon Ayuk. Again, this is all safe plays, right? If you are needing a safe floor, I don't think you're going to get that from either of these guys this week. Brock Purdy in San Francisco, he's going to hyper target someone. Is that Deebo Samuel? Is that CMC? Is that George Kittle? I think the odd man out is Brandon Ayuk. For that reason, you got to love DJ Chark and the potential that he has against the Minnesota defense, the way that the Lions have been playing, the way that Jared Goff has been playing. Most definitely, I go DJ Chark there over Brandon Ayuk. Let's see. This person says, Alvin says, let's see, in your flex, you're going DJ Chark or ETN, half PPR. He does not like the Jaguars matchup this week against Tennessee, and I totally respect that, my man. It's a tough call. ETN lost a fumble last week. He's been dealing with injuries the last couple of days as well. DJ Chark he's that guy that, in their right mind, would you ever start ETN, a workhorse running back, over a flex play like DJ Chark? Here, I think you consider it, but in the end, you're still going Travis Etienne, even with the tough matchup against the Tennessee Titans. So please keep those conversations, keep those comments coming in. Let's see here. Damian Pierce, Miles Sanders. Probably going Miles Sanders there. Pretty easy. That sucks. Damian Pierce, he's fallen off. I apologize for that. Let's see. Let's look at some more ones. We'll pull up my flex rankings here. Thanks for everybody who tuned out to those rankings clips as well. They helped me a lot. They're new. I'm not saying I'm nervous, but it takes time. You got to get better at these things. Oh my God, I need to cut my hair. But let's see. You're not starting any of those guys in your flex. Let's get to some better questions. I'd say right around when you look at rankings, I don't know where you go to for your sites, but usually when I rank my players, I'll do the top 30 running backs, the top 30 wide receivers. That's 60 players right there. Then you include tight ends. But where does flex consideration usually start when you're talking about 60 players? Probably right around that 50 mark. So let's see. Who are some guys I have ranked right around that 50 mark. DJ Moore or Latavius Murray this week. I'm probably going DJ Moore at Seattle. I like that matchup a little bit more, even though Seattle's, they're pretty sturdy on the ground, middle of the pack in terms of giving it up to the wide receiver position. So you got to respect that. Latavius Murray takes on a very vulnerable Kansas City defense. But, if Russell Wilson can't get it going, this game could get out of hand very, very quickly. But that's the thing about the Denver Broncos. That defense kind of keeps them just hanging around. So you have, Patrick Mahomes is putting up 35 points a game. But this is a game that very easily could be, 17-10, 21-10. Maybe the Broncos don't even score again like they did last week. Still going DJ Moore over Latavius Murray there. TJ Hawkinson or Jeff Wilson Jr. That's tough. I'm going Jeff Wilson Jr. Look, 1 carry for 3 yards last week. Everyone's in a panic, but the Chargers are giving it up, and they're giving it up by the boatload. His counterpart, Raheem Mostert, is my dark horse this week in a week where there are 6 teams on bye. So you have to make some contingency starts there. And Raheem Mostert is one of them for me. But I would start Jeff Wilson Jr. over TJ Hawkinson. Jerry Jeudy or Rashad White. Rashad White for me easily. Devin Singletary over, Rashad White. I don't know about that one. I'd probably start, the matchup against San Francisco is really scary for Rashad White. I'd kind of fade that matchup, especially with Leonard Fournette as well. Devin Singletary and James Cook. James Cook has just come on the last couple of weeks. I'm actually in a predicament myself because of the bye weeks where I have David Montgomery and Jonathan Taylor both on buys, where I am starting Devin Singletary and James Cook as my running back 1 and running back 2. So it's pretty sticky there, but they've kind of been able to stay relevant, even though this emergence of James Cook has kind of started to emerge. So I would go ahead and still play Devin Singletary. Who was it over? Over Rashad White this week. Just again, that San Francisco defense is tough. It's maddening. Adam Thielen or Mike Williams? I'm going Mike Williams, baby. Welcome back. Takes on Miami. I think he's got a good chance for a touchdown today. And again, that's what you bank on. They're the hardest things to predict. So it's really easy to say, yeah, I like to think he banks a touchdown today. And that's what we're hoping for. Juju Smith-Schuster, wide receiver 29 for me. Actually, no, I have him a little bit higher than that. Wide receiver 26. Let's see. Or Leonard Fournette. I'd really like to see Juju catch more than 3 or 4 balls this week, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Leonard Fournette, again, taking on that San Francisco backfield with the, Rashad White in there as well. I'm going Juju Smith-Schuster. I like the guy. I want to keep him in there. I think big things are coming. They happen in rules of threes. Well, they've had 3 games in a row where Juju has had 3 catches. Last week, he had 4 catches. Not really exciting. Maybe he gets it going this week at Denver. They have to do something, right? Joshua Palmer or Donovan Peoples-Jones this week. I'm going Joshua Palmer. I do not like what Deshaun Watson has done. It's more of a wait and see approach with him. Let's see. Alejandro Solomon says, thanks, First Round Fantasy. No, man. Thank you for coming by. We appreciate it. No, thank you. Good luck. And thanks for listening. All right. Sorry. I'll keep those questions coming as they come in. Let's see. Again, Joshua Palmer over Donovan Peoples-Jones this week. What about Donovan Peoples-Jones or Zay Jones? I still like Zay Jones. I don't. Again, Deshaun Watson, man. If you held out, are you mad? Are you salty? Or did you figure the rest was going to be a thing? If you figured it was going to be a thing, then, this week could be a bounce back game, but I don't think so. Taking on a Cincinnati Bengals team that is hot right now. It's looking bad over there. Looking real bad. George Pickens or Darius Slayton. This was part of our questionings this week. Some of the questions we got in the YouTube comments. George Pickens over Deontay Johnson there. George Pickens over Darius Slayton there. George Pickens over Mac Hollins, who played on Thursday. George Pickens over Tyler Boyd this week. And then we get to DJ Chark. Look, DJ Chark is obviously ranked outside my top 30 this week. However, he finds himself in this predicament. Just a really good scenario, right? The Minnesota Vikings have been giving it up. Jared Goff has been playing better. These are those type of games where it's like he's ranked low, but he definitely has a ceiling, which is why we're not the only ones to talk about him. There's a lot of fantasy outlets out there that are talking about DJ Chark this week. I think he gets it done. He could break off that 35-yard touchdown pass. He could have a nice game. He's not getting a lot of volume, so you're really hoping for the touchdown this week. But stats say he could get one, right? There's a really good chance. So DJ Chark over George Pickens this week. Let's get real deep here as we start to come down. Let's see here. I saw some news earlier. Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins is playing this week, right? He's finally active. Let's see. Let's go over those notes really quick. Saquon Barkley, active. Zay Jones, active. Trevor Lawrence, active. Deontay Johnson, active. Najee Harris, active. You like that sound? Joe Mixon, active. Look to see him back in action after 2 weeks with the concussion protocols. But I don't see the news about J.K. Dobbins. He is playing today. Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins. That's a tough one. Good luck. I don't really have information on that. I go J.K. Dobbins, though. Gus Edwards comes back twice so far this season, and each time he's come back, 16 carries in one game, 13 carries in the other. That's enough volume to flex it out. Let's hope J.K. Dobbins sees that same type of volume here. Van Jefferson played on Thursday. Don't need to talk about that. Let's see. Samaje Perine, what's his value look like now that Mixon is back in the fold? Does he get that passing down work? He was getting that passing down work before. Or Jerick McKinnon, who plays Denver, who, might I add, on Sleeper. Bold move, Cotton. 13 projected points, full PPR on Sleeper. He's getting the work, right? He's getting the passing down work. He's also getting some high-value touches around the end zone. That's what they're kind of banking on, I'm assuming, with that projection. But by golly, that is insane. Because of this, I'm probably going I'm probably going here, Samaje Perine. I don't think he's completely phased out of the situation there in Cincinnati. And again, that Denver defense. If anyone could do it, though, it's Patrick Mahomes. So hopefully he's the one that cracks the code and he can still put up 30, have a good fantasy day. But nonetheless, I'm going Samaje Perine over Jerick McKinnon this week. Terrell Taltone says, flexing Homer, James Cook, Pierce, or Slayton. You can only pick one, huh? Well, Homer does have that matchup against the Carolina Panthers. It looks unlikely that Kenneth Walker or whoever that other guy is there is not, or DJ Dallas, not going to play this week. Xavier Knight could be potentially a good call, but Buffalo Bills, Mike White throwing the ball as much as he is, I don't necessarily know about that. Homer could literally walk in to a 15 to 20 carry scenario here. We're just waiting on that final note. Is, Kenneth Walker out? Is DJ Dallas out? Right? If those things become official, Homer is your straight up runaway play there. Slayton, horrible matchup against Philadelphia. Don't like that. Pierce, as much as I love it, as much as I've, been on his flag this week, I still have to look his matchup. But I'm assuming it's not a good one if I'm saying that because I've already looked at it subconsciously. Yeah, they take on Dallas this week. Running back 18 for me, but, if that game gets out of hand quick, we've seen that he just doesn't generate the passing down work that he should be. Meanwhile, Homer against Carolina, that game could be close. It could be, a 1 touchdown game, 2 touchdown game, but you favor Seattle in that matchup, meaning Homer's going to get the work. So out of those 4 guys, Travis Homer is the guy in a PPR flex. Thanks, Terrell Tautone. Remember, if you're new here, which I don't think you are, I think I've seen your face before, not your face, maybe your Facebook, YouTube picture or whatever, feel free to like and subscribe, but we earn the subscription here. So again, we got to get it right. If we get the call right, you got to come back and subscribe, but thanks for liking today, man. We appreciate you coming by. Let's see. Let's take a few looks. I have a lot of dilemmas. You know what? I do have a debacle, though. I have something to say. I'm guessing the majority of people that were playing fantasy football this week and had Lamar Jackson on their teams knew as of Thursday that he was not going to play. 2 straight DNPs to start the week. Friday came around. It was like really grim. They moved him to doubtful. Why did it take until 8:30 this morning for them to officially rule him out? I was in a scenario where I didn't want to drop anyone off my bench. I wanted to keep all of those players, but I had to drop someone to pick up a quarterback to start in front of the injured Lamar Jackson. Well, Yahoo, thanks very much. They never ruled him out until like an hour ago. And I get it. That's still 2 hours before game time, so I'm being picky here. But it's like, come on. The guy was doubtful on Friday. Technically, I don't think I've ever seen someone from doubtful to healthy. So you have to let me know. Let me know if you've ever had that experience down in the comments. I think doubtful should just be a part of the IR already because they're already trending in a downward direction. So that's just my 2 cents there. I didn't like it this week. I had to wait. I ended up picking up. You're not going to like this. It was between Russell Wilson or Mac Jones against Arizona. I went Mac Jones. And that's just where I went. Mac Jones over Russell Wilson this week for me. And it was a tough call, but it's just the way it happens. Let's get to some more. Let's get to some real deep fantasy start sit questions today. If you're playing in those 14, 16 team leagues, Sky Moore or Tony Jones Jr., do you think Travis Homer gets that workload today all to himself, or can Sky Moore get something done? Who was, low range, lightweight, consistent over the last couple of weeks, averaging 5 to 6 PPR points a game. They were getting him involved, although very minimally. Tony Jones Jr. is a guy that I'd like to see here, though. I don't know if Travis Homer gets all the work. Let's move up. That seems a little too deep for me. Richie James Jr. or Kendall Hinton, again, going up against that Kansas City defense. He's wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. Probably Richie James Jr. there. If Darius Slay is going to be covering anyone, it's probably Slayton. So Slay covering Slayton. Get it? Richie James Jr. might have an opportunity to succeed there. Let's see. KJ Osborne or Chris Moore. No Nico Collins today. I believe no Brandon Cooks today either for Chris Moore, wide receiver of the Houston Texans. He might be a sneaky DFS play as well. We saw that the last time both of those players were out, he caught a touchdown, had a nice fantasy day. So if you're still figuring out those DFS lineups, Chris Moore is there and probably really, really cheap. I go Chris Moore over KJ Osborne this week. That was really deep too. Let's pick another one. I like these deep ones. Let's see. Nick Westbrook-Akine or Demarcus Robinson, wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. No, who's the rookie wide receiver? No Treylon Burks this week in Tennessee. So Nick Westbrook-Akine looking to make a little bit more of an impact against Jacksonville. Meanwhile, Demarcus Robinson takes on Pittsburgh. That situation's a little different. I want to see what Tyler Huntley can do. We've seen Nick Westbrook-Akine have relevance when Burke was out. I'm going Westbrook-Akine here against Jacksonville over Demarcus Robinson. I don't like these mentioned guys. You don't have to send them to me. I'm not going to answer them. All right. No, it's not fantasy related, guys. Sorry. Sometimes you just got to take control of your situation here. But man, deep week flexes. I like these. Let's go over a few more here. Let's see. I'm looking. Travis Homer looking to step into a potentially starting role, or Michael Carter sharing that background with Xavier Knight, going Travis Homer there in a heartbeat. Let's look up a little bit more. Elijah Moore this week, or let's see. I want to get a good one here. Come on, Robert Woods. I'm going Elijah Moore. He had that resurgence 2 weeks ago. People were excited to get him back into the fold. Last week, didn't live up to the hype, 2 catches. But what you got to like there is 6 targets. If that game is close in Buffalo today, I still think that Mike White is going to throw that ball a ton. Elijah Moore is a guy that should be in that flex lineup for you, and he's also ranked devilishly low. I think he's capable of much, much more. Let's make it even tougher. Elijah Moore or Travis Homer this week. Still going Travis Homer, but man, Elijah Moore could have something good to go for. Terrell Tone says, I heard that Tony Jones should get the start from Adam Scheffner. Man, that guy beats me to everything, of course, because he's just God, man. Let's look it up. Adam Scheffner, Tony Jones Jr. Let's see what he has to say. And that scenario gets a little bit different, right? It gets a little bit different. Tony Jones Jr., let's look at Twitter here. We got some news here. One moment. Nope, not there. Look, man, in the event that Tony Jones Jr. plays, back to your original question, I'd probably go Xavier Knight. And I'm not sure, is that James Cook? Because I'm just now realizing if that's James Cook, that might be the far better play. A guy that's emerging 2 weeks in a row who's had some fantasy success. If that was James Cook and Homer is not starting, I'm going James Cook over Homer, Knight, and Dameon Pierce, and Darius Slayton. So there you go, Terrell Taltone. Thanks again. Thanks for clarifying that. I'll look for that news to come up. It's just slow, man. It's slow over here on the West Coast. Don't ruin my argument by saying you're from the West Coast. But yeah, it's just we get the news a little bit slow over here. We're just waking up, man. We're just waking up. Those West Coast people, East Coast people have been waiting all day for football. They go to church, they eat some lunch, and then they sit down for football. Meanwhile, I wake up at 9:30 because it's my weekend, and I got to do the fantasy football podcast because I love it. But I'm pretty sure I got yeah. Only thing I've done this morning is brush my teeth and get a glass of water. I should do some ASMR if fantasy football doesn't work out. Does it sound good? Let's see. Let me know if that sounds good. I can have a change in my future. Let's see. Let's get back to some of these flank shrink. I'll look for Adam Scheffner. I haven't seen it yet. But if you see it, man, I believe you. I believe you. Monique says, good morning. Need some help. Would you start Mike Evans or DJ Moore? That is so interesting. Who would have thought we've been having this conversation this late in the year? But Mike Evans just hasn't been able to string together consistent fantasy value. 2 catches, 4 catches over the last 3 weeks. You're banking on the fact that he can get the touchdown this week. I just want to go ahead and pull up that matchup again. It's been Godwin country all over. But DJ Moore, you got to like what you saw last week from Sam Darnold. But if you remember correctly, we saw that the last time DJ Moore came out. Mike Evans, oh, that's right. We were talking about that vicious front line for the San Francisco 49ers. look, at the end of the day, San Francisco 49ers are middle of the pack in terms of giving it up through the air. I think Mike Evans, I get it, 3 weeks in a row. But as much as we talk about the rule of threes around here, 3 bad weeks, you're bound to have a good week. We can do it that way because I forgot what we usually do is 3 good weeks, you're bound to have a bad week. Mike Evans has had 3 down weeks. He gets a chance on the stage against a great team to possibly bounce back, maybe catch that touchdown. I think I'm leaning Mike Evans this week over DJ Moore. But let me double check just to make sure because, Monique, you're such a loyal viewer. I appreciate you coming out. Seattle 26. Yeah, I have DJ Moore ranked at 23 and Mike Evans as wide receiver 20. There's definitely a world where you could flip-flop those two guys. Monique, for you, I'm pivoting. I'm pivoting hardcore. I'm going with my gut here. If I was in that decision, and I just can't do it. Can't pull the trigger. Mike Evans for me against San Francisco. Again, if you can beat them anywhere, it's through the air. Mike Evans, 3 down weeks in a row. Let's see if he could string it together again. And Seattle's been tough. They give it up on the ground, not through the air. So, Monique, Mike Evans for me against San Francisco this week. Hopefully it works out. You've been coming back a lot. So, hopefully we've been giving you some pretty good advice and, or you're just giving us a try. But we appreciate you, Monique, so much. Thanks for coming out. Terrell says, yep, watched church, and now it's football. See? That's just what it is, man. You're on the East Coast. You get time to wake up, enjoy your day, but that's also the thing. On the West Coast, it's just I'm not trying to make a stereotype or anything, but it really is just we're not fast moving people like those East Coast folks. We take things slow, one day at a time. And for me, like I said, I rolled out of bed late today. It is what it is. But Terrell, glad to have a conversation. Where are you at on the East Coast? You don't got to give me your address or anything, but it's always nice to know where our viewers are from. So let me know where you're from. AO in the YouTube comments says, same here. Have to pick between Slayton or Chark. I just don't like the wide receiver against the Eagles, so I'm rolling with Chark. Yep, that's the choice you have to make. These are the choices we have to make. Thanks for listening. And good luck. Good luck to all of you. Thanks for coming by and listening today. It's a good time. We got just a few more minutes here before I pop off. Like I said, I have some fantasy lineup decisions that I have to make before the shows or before the games start today. But man, let me know. Monique, you've been coming around a while. You got a playoff berth waiting? Terrell Tautone, you playoff hunting? You already secured? Let me know your thoughts. We got a couple of minutes here before I go dark. And you guys are off to watch fantasy football and all things NFL-related football. So that's always fun on a Sunday. But, man, I'm in a few win and get in situations. Don't ask me how many leagues I play in. But I'm also pretty comfortable. Also, really quick, Tautone, if you're listening, this is from Yahoo RotoWire. Travis Homer could see the start to Tony Jones this week. So you were right. That news is coming in through Yahoo. You saw it from Adam Schefter on Twitter. Terrell Tautone, you heard it here first from the viewer. He's bringing in all the good news. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Marvin Jones Jr. or Tyler Boyd this week, Cameron Wald says. That's tough. You got to think. Every time I go against Tyler Boyd, especially when it's in these deep flex scenarios, Tyler Boyd always manages to chop off a 40-yard touchdown catch. And this week, maybe a week he does it. I'm not very sure. But if you're looking for that low-end flex play, you're looking with the guy with the highest upside. To me, that's Tyler Boyd with the chance that he could get something. He could get that long touchdown run. So for me, Cameron Wald, I'm only a voice. You make the final call. But I think I lean Tyler Boyd there. You know what? I lean Tyler Boyd there. Cameron Wall says, if I win today, I squeak in. It all comes down to this, man. I'm so nervous for you, but I wish you all the luck. That's what I was thinking as well. Good to hear. Yeah, man. Look, those are the decisions you're making. Maybe you have a few guys on bye. But Tyler Boyd, we see it time and time again. That one catch for 40 and a touchdown. One catch for 25 and a touchdown. That could be more than Marvin Jones 4 for 30, So that's what you're banking on. Cameron Wall, thanks for coming out. If we get it right, you got to come back and subscribe. If we get it wrong, come back next time. Give us another try. But please be sure to like the stream. We appreciate you guys coming out. We are rounding up minute 30 here. Yeah, lots of buys this week. Tons, 6. I read somewhere, not a lot of stars are on bye this week. I don't care what you're talking about. It's week 14. You're trying to make it into the fantasy playoffs. You got guys like Terry McLaurin, all those running backs, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. Like, what are you doing? Those are stars because technically they're in the top 30 discussion at their respective positions every single week. This is a huge week for fantasy football. I wish you all nothing but the best of luck this week. Good luck to all of you, unless you're playing me because you're going down. That's just the way it happens around here. But I want to give a shout out really quick. Thank you all again for tuning out today. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at First Round Fantasy. You can also find us here on YouTube where you're watching my beautiful face. My mom says it's beautiful on First Round Fantasy, at First Round Fantasy, I should say. You can also find us anywhere you listen to your podcast, most notably Spotify or Apple Premium. He says Terry's on his bench and see, dude. Hey, man, good luck. You got this. All right. You got this. Good luck, Cameron Wald. You're my sign out today. And your hot take for week 14 of the NFL season. Let me get my exit loaded up because Jacob's not here today. Just leaving me to just do it solo, man. Such a sad, sad guy. Just kidding. He's got family in town, so he's hanging out with family today. Let's see here. Where's the hot take? Xavier Knight, running back for the New York Jets. Not only does he get it done today, but with Michael Carter back in action, Xavier Knight continues the third consecutive game over 100 yards. You heard it here first. Good luck to all of you. Thanks for listening today. I got to get out of here before I get some hateful comments. Have a good week. Good luck to you. Hopefully we can talk playoffs next week. Peace.